Good evening, everyone, and welcome to College Cod 26. You're joined by Mark G and our fellow caster, Zep. Zep, it is going to be a fantastic game. Two top teams here in the southeast east of the Appalachian region, right? This is going to be either an absolute blowout or it is going to be the closest game of 5 maps we're going to see tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, really excited to get into it. The Midway Eagles versus Cumberland Phoenix, two fantastic teams to say the least, and the records do show it, and I'm sure we'll get a deeper dive into those as we go into the head-to-heads. But, you know, when it comes to both of these teams, right, it has to be said, 5-1 and 6-0, relatively similar records, but we did see in the game yesterday with two teams being 4-2 going into their game of that, the second game of the evening, I believe it was an absolute blowout, right? So the records don't normally, or don't always matter here, but I mean, when you're looking at near flawless record versus complete flawless record of Cumberland Phoenix, I mean, man, neither one of these teams have wanted to drop the ball as of yet. One hasn't at all. Are we going to see Cumberland Phoenix lose a map here?
I mean, there's a chance, right? The Midway side look quite decent in terms of their overall record, but I think it all comes down to the maps and modes that they have picked for this set of series, because I think this is where it all comes down to it, right? Looking at the map set that we have for this evening, first 3 maps, we're going to see a Scar Hardpoint, Colossus Search and Destroy, and a Scar Overload. If we go the distance, so another Colossus on Hardpoint and a Den Search and Destroy. And looking at these, right, a good set of maps here. I do like Scar. It is very varied for both these Hardpoint and Overload in a Colossus Search and Destroy. It's starting to become more a regular pick in the Search and Destroy scene of things, side of things. So I think it could be a very interesting map set for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, it has been interesting to see the sort of evolution of the maps that are being picked by teams, right? I harken back to the start of Black Ops 7. I feel like I was seeing Scar over and over again across those first 3 that were always selected. A little bit of a switch up coming through, mainly because I think players are starting to get ready for that point in the year where they want a little bit of a refresh of the competitive map pool. I know it's something that's often talked about around this time of year, right after Major 2. What are we going to see changed? Are we going to see maps rotated in? If so, what could be rotated out? It's always up for debate, but I like to see the variety coming through. As much as I like Scar, I like the variety of other maps. The one that we aren't seeing here, which is interesting, the bans from Cumberland Phoenix making sure to get rid of Exposure, a map that they mustn't be liking at the moment, and that's kind of a sentiment I'm starting to see shared amongst more players and teams as the year goes on. But those debates can be had all day long. In terms of what we have ahead of us, a Scar Hardpoint, again, I think it's one of those maps where you are punished if you're not warm going into it. The ARs are going to be dominating those lanes. The transition rotational points are huge. You want to be making sure you're siphoning well between P2s and P3s, trying to get those P4 spawns. If you can maneuver around the map with overall AR dominance across either top green or top blue, then your opposition is going to have no chance of getting through.
Yeah, exactly that. It's all come down to checking on the series stats so far of what these two teams have dealt with when it comes to these maps. So looking at it, you can see Midway Eagles, they've played Scar Hardpoint quite regularly and won every single one of them, 4 of them out of their 6 games that they have played a Scar Hardpoint involvement. It just shows that that's the clear reason they have picked that Scar Hardpoint for sure. And when anything else there that stands out really to you, because they're pretty neck and neck across the board for most of them, other than the fact that Colossus isn't really a pick for Midway Eagles.
I'm looking at that Scar Overload. The fact both of them are 2-0, I think that's going to be a real tipping point, right, for the Midway Eagles. They look at it as they look at the series as this: they have to take map number 1. Map 2 could be up in the air for them, given the fact that the Phoenix have not been beaten on it yet. But granted, they haven't played much of it either. Really is up in the air when it comes to the Scar Overload, and then beyond that, it's slightly more in the favor of the Phoenix side. However, we're kind of picking through minute stuff at this point, right? Both of these sides have been really good at the maps that they have played. Again, barely a map dropped. And as we go into this first one, are we going to see the Phoenix finally drop a map in the CCL season, or are we going to see them continue that flawless streak? Two top tier teams getting ready to get it underway right here and now.
Yeah, Scar is going to start us off, and Phoenix, like you say, is flawless already. Continuing that streak duty, it has to start here. Map number 1 against the Midway Eagles. Both teams wanting to get off to a flying start, because this could pick who's going to be the team to stand out on top of their region. Both teams at that stage where it doesn't matter where they finish here at this point now, top spot is what they're looking for.
Absolutely, and as we get into this one to begin with, we are seeing the Midway Eagles getting some of that initial time. Again, nice wave of kills there coming through to try and get towards that initial time. Pretty back and forth as we are on board as well with the Eagles as they're trying to get themselves set up and rotated through. But the Phoenix at the moment really doing a good job of just locking it down the point and keeping it held. And also I'm liking the positions that they're holding through that mid to get ready for P2. The spawn's angling more that way. And so far racking up that time, 20 seconds already. Terrific P1.
Yeah, a good start in the P1. They've still got 15 seconds to fight for it, but they've got a good position to be on the map here, overlooking that back spawn as well for players any making rotations down through that airplane side. But now they're going to be starting to make that focus and that rotation towards P2 with the kills going their way. They really have already got P2 under control as well early on, and now they're going to get players back in the spawn and spawning out Midway Eagles the other side of the map.
Yeah, getting a nice bit of time here. Phoenix already racking it up early on, catching the Midway Eagles cold. Phoenix are just dominating so far on this point already, well over 40 points ahead, about to be 50 really, until we see a little wave of kills there. Might be able to break them in, but we're seeing Yarrow here, or Ciaro. Brilliant at locking down this top on a 5 spree here, finally dropping, but 6 and 3 to begin with. Again, you talk about the importance of the presence and dominance of that AR holding those top lanes, whether it is Motel, top blue, top green. Already Phoenix are showing that they have that in the locker.
Yeah, Asylum going crazy there in the end there as well, getting a 4-streak before being shut down. Did we get the break for the hard point for a few seconds there to at least claw back that deficit a little bit, but the last bit of scrap time, Cumberland Phoenix looking to get control before they make that rotation towards P3. The battle here on the plane. They're not going to notice each other. It's like ships in the passing, but Dusk has heard it, knows there's somebody nearby on that zone. They will fight for their life, but can't win the gunfight. Saro is going to be the guy to take charge and get that early time.
And again, confident to push up in this sort of advanced position with the AR, holding time with it from that P3 position. Again, playing with such confidence at the moment. They are getting the majority of the kills. You got Dusk and ET 2 and 7 and 2 and 8 respectively on the Midway Eagles side. KDs that just aren't good enough when you're playing at this level, but hopefully they can rectify what has been a little bit of a slow start in their end. But Evoke and Asylum doing their very best to try and keep the sides in it. But the Phoenix side has been dominant to begin with. Once again, 60 points in the difference as they have this point locked down and have dominated practically every single transition so far. On top of having P4 spawns, this runs the risk of getting ugly unless the Midway Eagles can change it up and quickly.
Yeah, they were pinning them back in their spawn, and then they flipped the spawns, and then instantly it's pinning them back. But there's a little bit of a player spawning out there. Player number 5 there does get spawned out for a bit, Cal, but he gets shut down. But it doesn't matter because P4, they've got that back spawns. Dusk finds 2 massive kills, though unfortunately traded out, so he can't get in control of that hard point yet. But Asylum, he's going to get there early. Can he win the gunfights? Wins one, can't find a second. It's going to be Shadow that shuts him down as well. Once again, another 2 streak before potentially keeping control of that hardpoint.
And we're just consistently seeing 3-1s here, I feel like, on the kills. Even when the Midway Eagles have an opportunity to get in, they just get shut down so quickly that they can make virtually no time of it. They are making life difficult for just fleeting moments, but those moments are very, very fleeting. But in saying that, they have managed to get spawns for the first time around. Can they make the most of it here? They absolutely need to, but I will also be looking at how they transition off this point onto the next. We are seeing Evoke trying to move out towards P2, getting round the side, helping to pick up the kill, I believe. Now pushed up towards P2, but again, you look at that map, you look at where Honor's picking up, they know exactly where this rotation is going to come through. The Phoenix have set up fantastically for P5. Again, perfection on the rotations.
Yeah, they're early, they're set up, they've got control of 3 different lanes there, and the new player spawning in, he's going to be getting set up as well. Cal surely in top blue to try and look out through churches, but Asylum, he's been the player to keep an eye on. He's on a 7 streak just now as well. He's got that Hellstorm and he's got a chance to try and break the way through, but he might actually have to invest that Hellstorm early on here, because of otherwise the scoreline might get out of hand. 126 to 56 with time still going the way of Cumberland Phoenix.
Really tough to break in from here, and you can see where the Midway Eagles are spawning. They are just going to funnel towards that plane unless they send someone mid, which they absolutely do. Evoke going through market, trying to be that difference maker, but the position Cal is picking up, maybe could have picked that one up. A bit unfortunate though, but then as you see, the trades instantly there. They always get their ones Midway, but Phoenix are always there to play the trades and make sure to shut down any threat once it presents itself, as they've gotten a mostly clean hold on this P5, rotating back to P1. Going to be delighted with the first set of rotations. 58 to 141 going back to P1. The Midway Eagles, they are struggling in this map.
Yeah, the midway point, they're not looking like they're soaring yet, that's for sure. But you know what, they even invested that Hellstorm. They only managed to get one. It didn't really get them much time investment either as well for that use of Hellstorm for all that it was worth from Asylum. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. But they've got control P1 for now, holding in towards the shop. And they win the gunfight here. Honor Schmex just slides on in and doesn't care who is there. He just takes them out. They get control to get that contest in. And if he just pushes his way forward, you know he's going to get more control of this minimap. Can he get the second? He's looking for it. He's going to get the second inside here, and there's 4 in a row from Honor. And that will be more time for Phoenix.
Honor just absolutely dominating here, trying to get those spawns pushed out, gets dropped straight away. But every time you see a wipe come through for the Phoenix side, you can almost sense the heads of the Midway Eagles dropping, because they certainly have warmed up more into this game. Dusk's KD has gotten far better. You have Asylum 21 and 13. They are having these moments where they can pop off, where they can present the danger, but it's just a little bit too little, too late at this stage. If this is momentum they can take into the rest of the series, they'll provide a bit of a challenge. But for now, still 100 points in the deficit, not really anywhere near this P2 control. This map is already kind of chalked. You've got to look at it as trying not to get 100-point club, trying to set yourself up on the best foot going forward. ET just picking up a 2-piece might be what he needs to try and pull those numbers slightly higher going into the rest of the series.
Yeah, and as they've got over a 60-point lead, we're going to head on over to Cumberland Phoenix. Let's listen to how clean these comms are as they're in control of the hard point.
In front of me. From bottom, absolute. I'm just walking on fucking wood.
There.
Close on your time. Up in time.
Yeah, weak on you. Absolute gens. And we can see the push.
I can't see the gen guy.
Gen's is one shot.
I'll see him.
Gen's not shot.
He's dead.
Nice, and I'm staying down. I'm getting wall bang.
Get him in. Not
top on you. I can't.
Top.
Made already then.
Good win, Yusuf.
Absolute. No, absolute. He's half HP. I'm green already.
I spawn blue. I'm going boat.
Absolutely.
Nice. I'm actually cutting your mid. I'm cutting your mid right now.
What the
fucking
fight, guys. Fight for me.
I
hear you.
Shop on you, shop.
Yeah.
I swung green.
Guys, this one bow. I need a bow.
Mid.
I need a bow, watch out.
Mid dead, one more mid, P1.
I need a bow.
Evoke is P1, guys.
Yeah, well, Phoenix, they're in control. They don't even sound flustered at all. A solid hold there. They've got control of P3 here as well. The plane seeming to work out for them, but Asylum and AT, they can find a couple, but unfortunately AT is shut down by Drac, and Cal will find Asylum, and then Cal will find a second. More time going the way of Phoenix. They can still actually close it out here on P3 in a 100-point club, that Midway Eagles side.
Yeah, it's looking like that's a possibility here. Draken as well, by the way. 25 and 12 on a 6 spree, helping to, doesn't make it a 7, but putting some more bullets in. But 2 minutes 12 on the points as well, picking up these kills from the hill. It has been a dominant performance from Draken, even more dominant for the Phoenix as they take this map 250 to 72 in some fashion. As you said, the comms were locked. They weren't worried, but they were making sure that they were keeping on point to get this dominant victory.
Yeah, an absolute landslide. Some people would say a DoorDash attempt here straight away. 250 to, what was it, 72 in the end. A fantastic start to map number 1 here, Scar. We're going to see another Scar as well for that overload. So this is definitely showing a good standing of how this map is going to flow for them. This was a map that was looking good for Midway Eagles statistically before today. So now with a game like this, it's very much not looking on their side now with a 250 to 72. They weren't once at all in this hard point really. It slowly started getting away from P3 onwards. It was just doubling that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Funnily enough, it seems to be as the Midway Eagles seem to get a little bit more comfortable in the actual kills department in the map, that disparity just got wider and wider on the hard point. They were trying to play a bit tight to the hard point, playing the scrap to keep themselves in it. It wasn't quite working. They weren't fighting a way through, so they went a little bit more gung-ho, tried to slay out, tried to play the kills to get some clean time. It just didn't happen for them. You see that P4 to P5 only picking up 2 points, and from there you just saw Phoenix just begin to really grow into this one. They were able to expose the Midway Eagles on transition. They were able to lock down more clean time, getting more consistent 4 downs, and ultimately making light work of this map. And as you say, this was a map that the Midway Eagles were looking confident in coming into this series. So now looking at the rest of this series, it is starting to look damning early for Midway Eagles unless they can change something up.
Yeah, there's a few things to kind of note as well from that game. There is every single player on that Cumberland Phoenix, they all tend to go positive all the way through, and plenty of time. Draken being the absolute hell kit in overalls. And one thing you've got to also look at there on the Midway Eagles side, ET struggled a bit. It was more than double negative for pretty much that whole time. I think he went 8 and 26 in the end. I mean, when you're not racking up kills, you're not helping your teammates really, you're pretty much just running around and giving free kills and maybe even losing certain control of spawns or potential early rotations, giving them away. It's not the way that you want to kind of play as a 4 in a duo. You need to kind of start to communicate a little better to kind of help each other along the way, because Asylum had to try and do a lot of the work himself.
Yeah, ultimately, it's just stats you can't be having, right? ET 8 and 26, the greatest respect, triple negative. It's not going to be good enough against a team like the Cumberland Phoenix, who, you know, they're always going to come and show off the way that they did, right? So you've got to be able to have at least all 4 firing to the best of their ability to stand a chance. And look, could be plenty of time to pull it back in this series. Scar Hardpoint, I know the woes of it. I certainly can't play this map very well. You just got to take the positives from it, I think. And Dusk and Asylum doing quite well in the KDs, especially Asylum 26 and 20, proving he can hang with the big boys here at the moment in the slaying department. But it's the consistency of the Cumberland Phoenix on the overall. I mean, over 20 kills across the board, positive KDs, all there with the assists as well, 9, 13, 7 and 11. I mean, they're just always there for each other constantly. And then actual objective kills coming through for Draken as well, nearly half of his kills being objective kills. That is the reason why he's 2 minutes 18 on the point. Being able to get those ones directly from the hill was counting towards so much time.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody can really take him off the hill if you're getting onto the hill and getting taken out before he even gets a chance to even react. Unfortunately, it's not the start that the Midway Eagles have been looking for. They're going to have to try and bounce back in this search and destroy. We're going to be heading to that map of Colossus. Could change things up. Maybe the run of play might be slightly different. Maybe they're not up to these respawning modes yet against a strong side like Cumberland Phoenix, but maybe they can bounce back in a slow, melodical. Maybe if they can keep it all together and work together individually, they can actually pull something off here against this Cumberland Phoenix side. Considering Colossus has been quite a good map for them in this current series so far, in the current overall stuff. Their 6 matches that they've played, a lot of them going their way.
I do worry for the Midway Eagles on this map, though. I can't lie. You know, I'd normally say search and destroy. It's one of those modes where anything can truly happen, right? But you look at the way Cumberland Phoenix are slaying out, the way they always have each other's backs. I mentioned it on that map 1, right? You saw always when a player went down, the trades were always there. You always had someone picking up the angle that was lost, timing it perfectly to pick up that trade. And Colossus search and destroy is so direct. You know, when you're attacking a side, you just got to bomb it down that single lane, and then defending it, you know that's what you got to deal with. But if you're not feeling confident on the gun shots, and you're going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. So there's not much variety you can bring into a Colossus search and destroy, and at the moment I think that lack of variety is going to suit the Phoenix side to perfection. They're just going to run down the Midway Eagles, and it's going to be up to them to try and play those defensive trades.
100%, and I feel like in the defensive side of this thing, you get so much map control as well from the A and B bomb side, just at where it's positioned. It's defensive favored indeed. So if you can't find an attacking position, if you're Midway Eagles, I'm pretty sure Cumberland Phoenix solid in the defense for this get-go, and you're going to have to try and stop them so far. But Cumberland Phoenix, they've got the first blood. Get traded back, but it is going to be Draken again, find an ET, and it's all down to Asylum, and he's got the scope out as well. That's going to be a disadvantage straight away as well.
Yeah, not what you want to be caught with as the last player. Picking up a sub, though, going to be able to push through. But, I mean, again, look where Phoenix are playing. All around that statue, every single angle covered. Even if he came away with 1, he was going to be hounded and chased down until he was taken out. Phoenix playing it disciplined, even in a 3 versus 1 scenario. Asylum having virtually no chance, giving it his best efforts, but already the Phoenix looking dominant after round 1.
Yeah, definitely dominant straight off as well. 3 kills for Honor. Continuing how he ended that hard point. We'll look to do the same again. This time, Cumberland Phoenix on the defense. So, what we'd expect to see an op out here. Somebody bringing out the sniper to see if they can get some good old shots with that boomstick. Honor, though, he is very, very quick to get up there. A great nade to kick us off, though. We'll get that first blood on towards Evoke. And all of a sudden, if you're Midway Eagles, you'll be like, right, that is going to peg us back a few secs.
Already a little bit stuck, and you're just going to be spotted, right? Honor going to try to play his life here. It's looking like he's going to successfully do so. Draken picking up another in the meantime, just picking them apart, isolating them. All of a sudden, 4 versus 1, all up to Asylum once more with the boomstick in hand. Trying to go for 1, not even able to get it. I mean, the Phoenix, it's looking clean and comfortable right now.
Well, that's Midway Eagles lost their scope and sniper for the rest of the map. Now, I mean, that's two rounds lost straight away. Unfortunately, you're taking attack and defense. Interestingly enough, it's a very difficult situation. I normally see it in the defense. Don't tend to want to pick it on your attacking rounds just because you can't really just station yourself up really if you're trying to head towards that bomb site. So unfortunately, it will be down. Cal still has his one for the Phoenix side because they've yet to lose a life so far. Only Cyro has lost that life so far, and that Cumberland Phoenix has been pretty clean the first 2 rounds. We hope to try and do the same again as they did in that first one. And once again, a nade off the start finds AT this time.
Draken just once again playing to perfection as he so often does. Cal with the pistol in hand, running deep into the smoke, taking on the Charles, getting dropped, but Honor on the 5 spree with the bomb in hand, making it 6. Can he get the 7 on his way to a hellstorm? Clutching up, cleaning up for the Phoenix side. Already 3-0 up. We could be looking at a rapid fire S&D.
Yep, this is it. Honor do what Honor does, and he just finds 7 players so far stayed alive the whole round. Asylum caught in the crosshairs, unfortunately. And it's just dominant from Honor and dominant from the Phoenix side. They can continue this trend as could well and truly be, once you said, an absolute riot and run through them. 6-0 is still on the cards. And ET Asylum yet to get off the mark.
Well, you got at least 3 rounds to change that tune at the very least. Of course, they'll hope to have more than 3 rounds to do it. Want to pick up a couple of kills to actually count towards some rounds. But already, Phoenix comfortable in their setup, playing pretty spread towards B. Backing up, though, towards A a little bit, already recognizing the Midway Eagles have gone quite aggressive towards the side. Can they make the most of it, though? Can they get the bomb down? At least picking up a trade, 3 versus 3. Better round from them so far.
Yeah, it does get in the first blood finally as well, so that helps them. But it still means they are having to look for an automatic change from that A bomb site. They've wrapped around over towards B. Nobody from Cumberland Phoenix has spotted anybody through mid, so Honor's going to realise that this is going to go ahead the other way around, and he's going to get great timing onto 1. Doesn't see the second into his right-hand side, so he gets traded out, but Cyro is there at least to get the Honor back, and AT goes down. That is going to be a defuse. That will be 4-0, and Phoenix, swiftly as you like, doesn't matter if they lose track of 1, they eventually come back around from that flank and make the lead go even further away from Midway Eagles at this point.
I did like the way Midway Eagles actually played the round, right? I mean, going towards A, getting that initial pick, getting traded, but looking super advanced in A, and then all of a sudden deciding to transition over to B. They actually forced Phoenix into a little bit of a stretch. They did outmaneuver them slightly, but, you know, Phoenix, they're so disciplined, they're so experienced, they know as a side how to deal with that situation, rotated quickly themselves, and caught the timings. But that was a round where Midway Eagles actually looked like that they have something to bring to this map. They're just really running out of time to actually have that count for something.
Yeah, exactly. This time on a defensive round, hopefully they can turn things around on its head. Midway Eagles don't want to be 6-0'd again here as well. That'd be another disappointing map for them. They're a disappointing hard point already. Want to try and at least see what they can do. As they've changed up their defense, they've gone really aggressive into the back spawn here of Cumberland Phoenix. They're going to find that first blood. It's going to be Draken in the back. Player number 3 of Honor is looking for the hunt, and he's shut down by AT. All of a sudden, it is looking favourable for the Midway Eagles in this D.
Yeah, sniffing an opportunity and sniffing out all 4 of the Cumberland Phoenix players. Going to get on for a defuse and at least take one of these rounds. And I really like how they played that round. Isolating players on their own. And then towards the end there, as we saw on the feed, just sort of dragging Phoenix into the back spawn to isolate them for the kills. Great round for Midway Eagles. What a way to answer back.
Yeah, definitely a way you needed to answer back before it got out of hand here. It is 4-1. You've got 1. You're not getting that donut. That's always a bonus. But now let's see if you can replicate something similar here. This time, attacking round for you. Can you go back-to-back rounds? Start to put the pressure a little bit more on that Phoenix side. Make sure they start to make a little few mistakes, because maybe they were getting a bit too overzealous here as they were looking pretty dominant in the first 4 rounds. Now, I'll have to start for a second guessing where are the plays coming from the Midway Eagles, because there's no early blood for that Draken nade this time.
It is still super hard, though, to take this bomb anywhere on offense, right? And even now, going for the adjust over to B. Look how quickly Phoenix will adjust if they do make that push. But again, great first blood, taking out Cal, who has been a player who's actually struggled on this Phoenix side. Surprisingly, it's a shocker to see anyone struggle on their side. But Cal not picking up a kill as of yet. Now in a 2 versus 4, Honor and Cyro, all that is left. But 10 kills between them. I mean, that is just more than... Actually, not more, but it was very close to all 4 that are still up. So... if there's any 2 that can do it, it'll be these guys, but they're going to have to play a bit of a retake.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this here now as B is there. The player's gonna chow it. It's very aggressive, and Cyro will win it. Midway Eagles will win the round again. It is back-to-back rounds. They must have just fell one after the other in quick succession there for Midway Eagles to take the round. A fantastic back-to-back rounds, and Dusk's definitely starting to turn up here in this Colossus Search and Destroy, and they just need the rest of the players around them now to start building off of them.
Maybe a little bit of lapse in concentration for the Phoenix at this moment in time. I mean, who knows? But the Midway Eagles have certainly stepped things up. Dusk on a 7 and then everyone else a 2 apiece. And Dusk on that 4 spree. I mean, look, at this stage being still 4-2 down, you want to start building towards something. If he can build towards a little Hellstorm for late game, that could be a saving grace for Midway Eagles. You got to make sure you keep picking up those kills and winning these rounds. And another first blood going their way, but this time it's traded out.
Yeah, instant trade from Draken here, and Cal. He's gone through mid, but Draken will find Asylum as well, and he's got the scope. But Cal tries to get the quick scope. Fortunately, it does not connect. Has to pull the pistol. Dusk will get his 5th, and all of a sudden, Dusk gets traded out, so won't build towards that Hellstorm, but it's a 1v2. Midway Eagles looking like Evoke is all on the line here, and their bomb has been wrapped all the way around their own spawn, so it's going to be what Cumberland Phoenix look to wrap it towards being catch. Midway Eagles off guard as Evoke might get caught timing. And it is exactly that. Just misses him in the passing through mid map. Do you check A? Do you check B? He goes A. Is he going to guess rightly?
That's crazy. I mean, he is just on the chase. It's like the Phoenix are just trying to draw him out of their positioning, and they just can't seem to do so as of now. But the bomb finally going down. How's the timing going to be for Evoke? He turned, he thought it was B, but no, it was A, and he's going to go for the shots, can't pick it up. And the Phoenix take that round. He was almost a touch bewildered there that he couldn't see a planter going for the turnaround and then just being, hang on, wait a minute, that says A. He's right there, but not able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, it just pops as soon as he turns it around. It's like, oh, A-bomb's like, damn it. It could have been the 2 seconds longer. Not even that, and he would have been popping up, and he might have had an opportunity to take out Draken there. Would have had to worry about the player jumping from top mid, but he was not going to be able to get that. We have map point, Cumberland Phoenix here, and looking to take it 2-0 in this series, and they have to do it in the defense, which is more favor towards them for sure, as Midway Eagles have yet to find a really convincing attack.
Oh, Cal looking to give someone a little bit of haircut, short back in size, leaving a little on the top though, which is why he missed. Gonna try and go for another one as the push comes through, but Honor there with the cover, and then Cal with the pistol finally picking up his kill, getting his snipe as well. Cal's awoken at the death, it seems, and it looks like it's going to be enough, at least with this trade that eventually does come through for the Phoenix to take map 2.
Yeah, it was eventually coming through. It was almost a short back in size, but it was more like a short back and bottom at first because it missed most of the time just below them. But Draken, he goes and finishes off the final kill there. He goes standing free on Cumberland Phoenix. Although it wasn't a complete 6-0, it was looking like it could have been, but at least Midway Eagles managed to find a couple of rounds there. But unfortunately, too hard to deal with a Cumberland Phoenix side who have been getting so many first bloods in the early stages. It started to put them on the back foot very early on.
Yeah, and you can see as well the Phoenix were happy to get aggressive, right? Often trying to go winning the rounds from the kills, and as you said, the first blood mattering a lot. Only a couple of rounds it didn't, but that just shows the ability that they have as a side. And look, I like what the Midway Eagles brought to some of those rounds. I definitely feel like they are a side who you can already tell is going to be very dangerous and has been very dangerous against a lot of the other teams in the CCL. But Cumberland Phoenix, one of the sides who are the very best, proving once again why they're one of the very best with the performances they're putting on in this series. So far, it is looking like they're going to be flawless, but only time will tell.
Yep, the Scar Overload we know is already 2-2 each, or 2-0 each, sorry, in their stats across that game mode and map. But so far, the way that Cumberland Phoenix have been playing the series as it stands, they're very convincing winners in both the hardpoint and that search and destroy. You can't really write a different script here, as it seems. Is Cumberland Phoenix looking to just take the series in quick fashion, not drop a map, and keep their flawless streak going? You heard it in here as well. You hear the boys at the end here, how crisp and clinical they've been in their comms, how clever they've been playing the map as well, and not, when they were getting aggressive, not over aggressive to the stage where they're actually getting themselves left in a 1v0, like when actually getting cut down and leaving it open for the rest of their team. They're there for the trades every single time.
And Phoenix is aside. They are just absolutely top tier. The way they play, again, the way they cover the angles, the way that they were just always making sure that they had each other's backs while showing the ability to pick up the kills themselves. Once again, a player just absolutely dominating in this series. Draken, I mean, so far on the way to, I think, becoming the series MVP at the very least. I mean, the kills that he's just picking up are outrageous. 8 non-traded kills as well, so it was often being the front man going through and getting that initial damage, breaking the lines, allowing the rest of his teammate to get the job done. Comparatively, you go out to the Midway Eagles. Dusk, once again, terrific game. Asylum with a great map 1, falling a little bit short. And as a side, they're individually having moments in moments, but it's just not enough as a consistent 4 unit to really break a sweat out of this Phoenix side.
No, exactly. No breaking, no sweat. Cal had to break a little bit of sweat to find the 2 kills in that last round there to at least get some stats on the board there on the end. And one of them was a nice wee snipe as well, which we needed to see. Managed to survive the majority of the rounds when he did have it. And then when he didn't need it, he pulls it out in the end and it gets the kills needed for Cumberland Phoenix to go 2-0 up in the series. That being said, we will be heading to a short break before we go to that Scar Overload as our next map to Cumberland Phoenix go 3-0 and take out Midway Eagles and luring their stats as well on this map. We're just going to have to find out after the break. Welcome back, everyone. We are 2-0 deep in Phoenix, looking dominant so far in the first 2 maps of this series. We don't see anything other than potentially an easy enough win as well in the Overload, but we are going back to Scar where they were very dominant in that hard point. Do you see a comeback here from Midway Eagles? Because this is where it has to start.
Honestly, it's not looking good for them, right? Again, they're so far 2-0 on the record, same as the Cumberland Phoenix, but as we talked about going into the series, the records don't always really matter much at the early stages, and we're already seeing that be the case, right? Because Cumberland Phoenix are looking a whole level above the Midway Eagles at the moment. The way they are playing as a 4, it looks dominant at times, it looks almost too easy for them at times. The Midway Eagles certainly showing moments, glimpses, but moments and glimpses are all they are, and they're going to need a little more than that if they want to try and get through this map 3. One last chance to do it in this series, one last chance to keep something flawless in a Scar Overload, but the Cumberland Phoenix yet to drop a map, and if I had to guess, I'd say they're not going to drop one after this either.
Yeah, I know. I can't see it happening. I can't lie. They're just very much in flow state. The Phoenix side just very much the better slaying side as it has been so far. And with Overload being the way the Overload plays, if you're getting plenty of kills on that map, it's going to be very difficult to stop an Overload getting sent into that device and into that upload. So let's see where we kick us off here. Cumberland Phoenix, they'll be starting on that far side here, looking to have to head up towards the church end. But first few kills going away Midway Eagles, chance for them to open up first and try and get in control of the MP. But before that even happens, it's going to be Draken and Asylum. That's the battle between the 2 big gunners that you want to see happen across this map, because whoever comes out on top between these 2 players might make a difference in the map.
It's just as we so often see from the Phoenix side, they have an ability to answer back as soon as they're in trouble, but the Midway Eagles definitely off to the better start here at the moment as they try to get moved on up, but it can be really hard to break through that top blue area. Dusk picking up another one, trying to keep that P2 side, that motel, pushed on out as best as he can, while Asylum hovers around the EMP through mid. But you look at this defense from the Phoenix, it is clean along that line. They do not look like they're going to be broken at this stage.
There we go, 5 spray for Dusk, looking to build to make it 6, looking for that Hellstorm. Can they get any more control? They've got only 1 player to worry about Dusk here in the middle, and that'll be easy enough for Cumberland Phoenix to try and get control of the spawns, because so many players from Midway Eagles are coming off that respawn, and if they can pin them back here, that is where Draken, if he goes big here, a couple of kills, 3 kills, dead feed, that's going to be 1 player in the wraparound. He's actually got the kill to stop Honor with that EMP. But look how far pushed up they are. The left side's opened.
Here we go.
It's going to be the first one done here on B. Honor opens it up. Cal's on a 4 streak as well. They're going to pin them back, and there's a chance to go round to plane and relay this one as well through mid.
Yeah, so far the spawn trap has been really effective from Phoenix when they've gotten up. Just made sure to clear out that B lane and had a clean path straight through to that overload. The Midway Eagles trying to answer back with control of top green, trying to get a little bit of an overlook towards that top lane. Are picking up the kills, but again have no real control of that EMP site, as Cyro will just decide to pick it up and rotate back around to his teammates over on his B defensive side to push back through the motel area. Again, smart play at the end up, was trying to see if his side could slay out. When they couldn't, he safely rotated it back through. and they are still in control of this motel side, looking to pick up a wave of kills to get the second cap. But so far, good defense from the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles managed to get the wrap and suss out what was happening here from Cumberland Phoenix. Like you said, that wrap around back through their own spawn was a clever idea because he knew that a few of his players had already gone down, pushed up in the map, so they were going to be spawning over towards that B side, so he wrapped towards that. But from this position, Cumberland Phoenix are going to have a great defense to start us off here. Cal and Draken, he finds two himself, and they start pushing up that mid-map. They find that kill right behind the middle of the map, but that is going to be a chance once again to start closing off all the lanes and make it very difficult for Midway Eagles to even get a chance on this defense. Their number one, Cal, he's in the back. He's found one, he's found two. That's Honor as well. That'll be all four dead. There's a chance. There's EMP number 2. Cumberland Phoenix now in that spawn trap once again, and look where the EMP spawns, the bottom of the map. That's 3 dead from Cal. That is going to be, surely, if they can get player number 7 of ET, there's a chance. The pistol fight, he wins it. Can he get himself into that other EMP upload? Nope, he's going to be spotted out. He's won another one with that pistol, Cyro.
How is he doing that? I have no idea. But the Phoenix almost getting a little bit too aggressive there, you know, getting pushed up towards that green, forcing spawners, I think, closer towards that motel, which is what they didn't want to try and relay through. But ultimately, it was just slowing them down ever so slightly. Nearly getting through for the third. Not quite enough, though. Evoke helping his side hang on. But man, when they are up against it, when their backs are against the wall, Midway Eagles, they look in a lot of trouble. Phoenix at times are finding flow state, and when they do, they look unbeatable.
Yeah, they definitely do, and they're just needing to get that final clinical kills, but as soon as they get pushed up with that EMP, it ends up being 3 dead, make that 4 dead. Draken on a 2 spray, also Honor on a 2 spray. They get that map over towards A site. Are they going to keep it there? Nope, he's decided to go mid-map. Evoke is waiting. Now he's going to look over that EMP device, expecting another player to come challenge him, but Evoke snaps around and knows there's a playback in his spawn. That's a good position to be in as he looks to even push further out past that EMP, give them some map control. Midway Eagles need to control as much as possible, but when players are falling behind you, you're unfortunate, and AT is left as his own player waiting on the respawns of Midway Eagles.
Phoenix just knew as well if that EMP was to respawn, it was going to respawn right in their hands, as they have full control over this motel side, which has been pivotal in them having an overall map dominance. Looking to try and get through again for one more before the end of the half. They will slide through, make it 3 with 15 seconds left. That's most likely how the score will end up, unless they continue to slay out. Honor picking up 4 on the 4 spree right now. Multi-kill at 3, trying to make it 5, and he does. The spawn trap through. The lane is cleared. Are they going to make it 4-0 at the death of the half? They absolutely are. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you lock down the first half of an overload.
Yeah, getting stuck in that spawn there, that is the hardest part to deal with, because with that heady there that Honor was on, he was able to come back and build a wee spray. They get the 4 EMP uploaded. They go to the halfway mark, halfway up to the full scoreline of 8. It's required to win the map before time is even out. And Honor, he gets himself to even Stevens with 12 and 12, but a streak that he has still going into that second half.
You know, you're the side of the Midway Eagles now. What do you do? Again, you've had moments, you're picking up kills, you're actually getting 3 downs at times, but it's never really to get any progress up a lane as much as it is just to defend that EMP, to get some sort of momentary respite. They haven't been able to pick up these kills well enough on the offense to be able to clear out lanes and give themselves an opportunity. Arguably having the easier side now, so maybe have an opportunity, but it has to be perfect, and it's hard to be perfect against this Phoenix side, because even if you are, what good will it do you when they can slay out like this? Honor still on that 6 spree, looking to make it 7. Surely will around the back with the pistol in hand. He is on fire, on his way to a hellstorm.
Oh, what is he going to do? He does. He wins that gunfight, and he's going to get the EMP. The Hellstorm surely is earned at this point in time, but 5-0 up. You just did that all yourself, finding the kills needed to make their way through. Unbelievable from Honor. 16 and 13. You said that Midway Eagles have got a lot of times where they went 3 dead in the V. The problem is most of it's been on a defense where they're in the middle of the map, and it doesn't help being there because the respawn is coming so quickly from Cumberland Phoenix that they managed to push back and find 3 or 4 dead themselves, and that's exactly what's just happened right there again. Honor once again back on a 2 streak as they start to push straight through that EMP. Cyro finding 2 big ones. Asylum that gets 1, but unfortunately Cyro is not being stopped, pushing through the spawn now, looking for that 6 EMP upload. He's going to shower the defense, but there you go. That is 6, and Phoenix looking to do this before time is out.
And it is looking like now it is only a matter of time before the Phoenix are going to be able to pick up this victory and take the series 3-0. This has been clean. This has been clinical. It has been precise. 19, 17, 18, and 18 across the board. They are all picking up the numbers, picking up the kills, getting those overloads through as well. 2, 2, and 2. They are just taking turns and absolutely dominating on this map. And they look like a scary, scary side.
Yep, exactly that. A very scary side to deal with. I'd hate to be coming up against this Cumberland Phoenix side yet to drop a map, and so good in every single map and game mode that they have played so far. Very dominant performance. Still a chance though here. ET looking to wrap his way in and get one, but he's cut at the 5-yard line. Will the EMP go in? No, it won't. Defense holding strong. Cyro finding a couple of kills there to stop it in its tracks as they look to wrap it around towards the B side. Going through motel. If they get a few kills here, that could be the 7th EMP. Only one player to deal with. He's to the left of shop. The player's going to get shot in the back. Fortunately, the respawns are quick. As EMP is going to be wrapped over towards A. Nobody's going to be home. It is going to be 7. It is going to be 1 away from that time. And we've still got 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
Plenty of time for Phoenix to get one more. Plenty of time for Midway Eagles to get one on the board. But I think that's kind of wishful thinking at this stage. Maybe might get a solitary one. But beyond that, what else really? Nearly have an opportunity to get through B here. Just need 1 or 2 more kills. But so Cal just about holds on with the kill through the back to stop Midway Eagles from even getting one. As Cal now picking up the hostage. Oh, dearie me. Cal. What are we doing? What are we doing, Cal? This isn't Rainbow Six Siege. What's this hostage situation we got going on over here?
They're just feeding now. They're just feeding for some kills here. Extra. There's a Evoke jumping up, getting one, but traded out. Control of the map once again. EMP in the middle of the map, not looking to pick that up yet. If they can win a few gunfights mid-map again, Phoenix look like they can close this one out. Maybe they're just having a bit of fun now. They're 7-0 up. I think it's almost impossible to come back from this one as well now at this stage. 1 minute and 24 seconds. I mean, it's probably out of its reach for Midway Eagles, no matter what happens here. But you know what? Phoenix are putting on a show. They're showing us why they are the squad to look out for in this region here. Southeast Appalachian, you're going to come up on top surely by the end of this, is the way that things have been going. And if they can get one on the board, Midway Eagles, I'd be happy with that at this point.
Yeah, trying to go for at least one, but I mean, it's not looking very likely as they're rotating that EMP as deep as they can. It's almost like they just don't want to have to deal with any more here. They have struggled all the way throughout. Again, as we've talked about often throughout, they have shown moments, they've shown glimpses, but this Phoenix side looks like they have the beatings of just about everybody at the moment as they're going to continue this flawless streak so far in the CCL, playing to perfection. 28 seconds left on the board. The Phoenix have one more chance to go forward and get this game done. Cal picking up the second on a 32 as well. I mean, so many kills pick up as well in the control. He has just been slaying out, dominating. It's been such a terrific performance across the board as Draken finally calls in the Hellstorm.
Yeah, finally. Doesn't need to do it at any point in time. Just does it just to do it before the end of the round is done. The time will tick out. We won't get the 8th. We won't even get one from Midway Eagles. The time will cut short there. And Cumberland Phoenix, you take a dominant performance. A 7-0 overload here on Scar. Scar has been a very strong map for you in this series, as well as that Colossus Search and Destroy. Fino, a flawless game and a flawless record to still hold to here in CCL 26. This is just before the restructure of the set up, so fantastic from them. They'll be finishing up surely top of that region with what could be safely said. If you were to add all their score lines together, I'm not sure that would be a nice stat to be looking at on the other side, because that is a lot of kills and against a lot of deaths that you probably could have done a little better at overall here from Midway Eagles. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be against the Cumberland Phoenix side.
Wasn't to be at all, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who have tuned in a little late to the CCL here this evening, a little bit of your recap here. Cumberland Phoenix taking the victory in this series 3-0, winning map number 1 250-72 in what was an utterly dominant victory. Similar story on map 2 in the Search and Destroy Colossus. However, they did show glimpses and moments. Midway Eagles are putting up a fight, taking a couple of rounds and actually adjusting pretty well throughout the map, showing glimpses of why they are 5-1 so far this season. But Cumberland Phoenix showing more than glimpses, showing consistently why they are flawless this season, and they continued that going through to the Scar Overload, where, as you'll see in these highlights, it was just a DoorDash domination series and map from them. Again, Midway Eagles having moments early on, but defensive kills rather than clearing offensive lanes, and Phoenix just started relaying one after another.
Yep, I think they had their appetizers, but their order is now here. They're ready to eat it up, and let's make sure they ended it in a fine fashion. 7-0, the just dominance in the back of the spawn here in that first half. From Cal, from Draken, they were finding kills, they're building streaks, they were just looking absolutely solid. Honor at the end of that round as well, did a wee spree himself as well. It was just too clean. And they're just absolutely snapping. Like, they just could find every single kill where it was necessary. Yes, Midway Eagles found kills. They found 4 free dead at times. It was just in the wrong times, in the wrong moments, that they couldn't get control of an EMP or even push it up that map. Fortunately, with the respawns that Phoenix came back into at it, they just found a quick free dead themselves. And Midway Eagles were shut down before they even got things started, unfortunately. But yeah, what an overall series for Cumberland Phoenix. I mean, it was flawless. It was clean, and it was the way it needed to be done, just to show off the level that they play at.
Yeah, the Phoenix showing why they're flawless so far in the CCL season, continuing that flawless streak with an utterly dominant victory against the Midway Eagles. And you know what the scary thing about the Cumberland Phoenix side is that, look, I pointed out Draken a number of times of being the top player, the player who maybe I thought could get that EMP, or that EMP, well, he did pick up the EMP plenty of times in the Overload, but the MVP of the series. But I mean, take your pick of the bunch from the Cumberland Phoenix. I mean, my God, they just all had individual moments of brilliance throughout. And, you know, players who started slow and other moments, players who you wouldn't have tipped for that MVP spot, all of a sudden just turning up at massive numbers in that Overload, just all proving they have what it takes and they have it in the locker. And that's the beautiful combination that you want for a perfect COD team, is the ability to work together as a team, to complement each other so well, on top of having the ability as an individual to provide those individual moments of brilliance. All of the above, the box is checked for Cumberland Phoenix, and we're delighted with their performance so far in the CCL season. For the Midway Eagles, they take another loss to now go 5-2. Not a nice result to be on the other end of, especially as a team who probably up until this moment felt really dominant, but you still got to tip your hat to them for where they've gotten themselves up until now in this season, and are still going to do a lot of damage going forward.
Yeah, I definitely tip my hats to that. I could never compete against them either, to be fair. That was just absolutely phenomenal from every single one across the board there for Cumberland Phoenix. Draken especially was just showing up on the respawns. He was an absolute demon on that map, very difficult to deal with. And you know what? That's a fair play to them. 7-0, they'll go. We'll be heading to a short break. You'll be back joined again. No, but this time Zep will be joined by Verdict. So have a good one going into game number 2 of the evening, Zep. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you again another time soon.